Hey everyone, it's Brandon
and Tyler
with Everyday EV, and for this video we are talking about app connectivity specifically for our Chevy Bolt and our Volkswagen ID.4. Both of these vehicles offer different apps. For example, the Chevy offers a MyChevy and the Volkswagen offers the Volkswagen Carnet app. And now as electric vehicles come out, a lot of these vehicles are offering connectivity features, whether you can pre-start the vehicle, you can set your climate, temperature, and so forth. So for today's video, we are doing an in-depth review and comparison of MyChevy and the Carnet app. So you want to start off with the Carnet?
Let's go.
Hey.
All right, so our Volkswagen ID.4 comes with the mobile app called Carnet, which you can get for any of your Android or Apple products. Carnet is for the US-based Volkswagen ID.4. There is a different mobile app if you are in Europe, so just kind of an FYI. For the Carnet app though, it has a lot of features that we kind of find nice on a day-to-day basis. So you can remotely turn on the climate if you want to. You can find charging stations. You can find directions via the navigation. You can also, if you want to start and stop your charging sessions, if you're plugged in, you can also do that on the mobile app. Kind of cool. So for any Volkswagen ID.4 owners, you get remote access free for 5 years, and you have to pay a subscription within the mobile app. So that mobile app allows you to look at your battery status to see what level you're at. You can change if you want your battery status to go to 80% at full charge or 100% full charge, just depending on your day-to-day use. You can also start and stop your sessions if you're plugged in, and you can also turn on the climate, which honestly in wintertime here is a godsend, because I can love that I can turn on the car from a big distance and I can just walk up to the car and it's nice and toasty. So let me show you how remote climate works on the Volkswagen ID.4. All right, so let me show you guys what it's like to turn on the car remotely using the Carnet app for our Volkswagen ID.4. I will mention though, to turn on the climate, the only thing that we don't like about the car is that you can't tell, there's no indication whether the car is on or not. So none of the accent lighting turns on, nothing honks, nothing flashes, nothing like that. You just get a notification in your mobile app that the car is on and the climate is turned on, and that's it. But let me show you how it works. So here in the mobile app, we're kind of signed into our Volkswagen ID.4. And we're gonna scroll down to the car climate. What's nice is you can actually use this scroll wheel here where it says 67 degrees Fahrenheit. You can kind of change your temperature based on whether the weather is freezing cold like it is here in Cleveland today, or if it's nice and hot in the summertime. I will note too, once you change this is kind of something that I don't like about this mobile app, is once I turn this on, the screen will turn white, and I'll show you what happens there. But at least what you can do is you can click on more climate settings. You can turn on the defrost and heating, which is actually kind of nice here in the wintertime. So if we have ice on our car, we leave it on top of a parking garage, we can quickly defrost it while we're getting coffee. What I'm going to do is go ahead and turn on the car. It's going to say sending changes to your Volkswagen. It turns white. And if you're by it, you might hear a click, but if you're not by it, you're not going to know there is notification. And then once it's on, it looks like it's on. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the messages in the top right corner here, and it looks like it had started, so which is awesome. So it's kind of cool that you can remotely start your car via the climate control and kind of change that temperature as you need to. So now when we get back in our ID.4, it's going to be nice and toasty for us on this winter day. All right, so we're going to be inside for the car for the rest of this app because one, it is really cold outside and we don't want to freeze our fingertips off. So what I'm going to talk about here on the Carnet app is at the very top here we have your battery level indication, which I think is kind of cool. So remotely I can just check to see what I'm at. So I'm at 200 miles of range at 96%. It is really cold here in Cleveland, so that's why we have it. But what's nice is you can also manage your battery settings. So you can also manage your target state of charge, your charge current if you want it to be max or lower. You can also, what's nice about the ID.4 is when you plug into a charger, it auto locks the charger to the car. You can also turn off that feature if you don't want to have that on, for example, which I kind of like. And you can also start and stop charging, like I said. But the neat thing is you can also find charging stations via this mobile app. So I think it's kind of cool. You can find any charging stations. It doesn't really give you the power level, so that's kind of disappointing to me. It just kind of gives you a wide variety of chargers. So it's literally anything from a level 2 at a city hall all the way to a 350 kilowatt Electrify America DC fast charging station, and that's it. So it is kind of disappointing. The other disappointing thing is this car does include the online navigation features for 3 years as well, which is kind of embedded in the ID4. What I wish Volkswagen would allow you to do is if you find a charging station where you want to go, I wish it would give you the ability to send directions to the car. You can get directions, but it uses Apple Maps if you have an iPhone, or uses Google Maps if you have an Android. So it's kind of disappointing that you can find a charging station. You know, it's great that you can find one, but it's disappointing that you can't route to one via your navigation unless you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connected. So that's kind of something where I feel like some of the features of the mobile app don't really connect to the car itself, which is disappointing for navigation. Other than that, I mean, you know, this is pretty easy. You can kind of find any charging stations that you need. I will mention too, there are some other plans in here if you ever wanted to get more features for the ID4. Really, the only other 2 plans that you have extra that this car doesn't include for at least the first 3 years is going to be a Verizon wireless hotspot. So if you are on the road a lot, you can get a hotspot for in your ID4 if you want to pay for that. There's also a package called the Safe and Secure package, which basically just alerts you if you get into an accident and all the airbags deploy. But you already have an SOS button on the ID4 anyways, and it's going to call 911 for you anyway, so I don't really see the point of this package. But it's kind of nice. You also have the Hello ID, and we'll see if it turns on. You also have the Hello ID features. It's an online feature for about 3 years, and there, of course, now it turns on for me because I just said Hello ID. We'll cancel out of that. So that's also included for 3 years via online as well in the mobile app if you ever need to use that. So the mobile app is pretty basic. You know, after 8 months of using it, the climate is the thing that I use the most. Turning on the car whenever we need to, make sure it's stayed on, you know, whether we need to keep it cold or hot. But I will say, like, if the mobile app could have a feature to lock and unlock the car, that would be awesome. Like, there would be times where I might forget that, oh, I didn't lock the car because I walked away from it. It'd be nice to go into my mobile app and just be like, oh, I just need to lock the car really quick, or oh, I need to unlock it really quick. It'd be nice to have those features. Maybe on down the road they will. Hello ID came up again. But other than that, you know, the mobile app is really easy to use. The only other pain point that I found using the Carnet app is the fact that you have 3 different logins. You have to log in with your email address and password first, then you have to click on your car itself, and then you have to type in a PIN. So you'll see in a little bit what the MyChevy app is like, but for the ID4, I really feel like it should just be a PIN number and then you're into the mobile app. You shouldn't have to click on multiple buttons and multiple sections like your car in order to get into the mobile app just to start the climate or find a charging station. But other than that, that's kind of how Carnet works. Pretty safe, you know, pretty easy to use and simple. You know, maybe in the future Volkswagen will add some really nice updates like auto lock and unlock. Maybe they'll actually get the charging station to navigation to work. So kind of nice to see those features. That's how Carnet works.
So now let's talk about the MyChevy app with our 2019 Chevy Bolt EV. Listening to Tyler talk about the Volkswagen Carnet app was definitely interesting, but there are a few key differences between the Carnet app versus the MyChevy app. Well, to begin with, let's do a quick overview of pricing. There are 4 different plans that you can purchase for your Chevy vehicle, and that's not just electric vehicles, that does cover their other vehicles as well. Starts at $24.99, goes up to $49.99, and the top plan gives you things like automatic crash response, gives you more OnStar features as well as some data plans that you can connect to your vehicle. Our vehicle, when we bought it, came with a 3-year plan, the basic plan for free. So that was a nice feature, and we are coming up on that. So eventually we will have to pay for a plan if we want that. Now, their new vehicles do offer that as well, as I believe, but just keep that in mind when you are shopping for a GM electric vehicle product. So now let's dive into the MyChevy app. The MyChevy app offers a lot of features, but the key difference between the Chevy app and the Carnet app is that the MyChevy app actually doesn't allow you to set things like your state of charge or your temperature when you are preconditioning the vehicle. However, what it does offer is that it does allow you to lock and unlock your vehicle. You can sound the alarm from the app. You can precondition from the mobile app, as well as flash your lights. Well, other features that this actually offers, which I think is pretty cool, is it allows you to find charging stations based on PlugShare data. It pulls it in from the PlugShare app, so you will have data to find charging stations here. It also allows you to activate chargers based on the EVgo network, as well as ChargePoint directly through your mobile app. And it allows you to plan routes as well, which is really cool. Definitely prefer to still use the ChargeWay mobile app when it comes to finding charging stations as well as routing trips, but it's really cool that the MyChevy app offers that. Another thing that the Bolt does that the ID4 does not, when you are connected to your app, it will actually signify when you're sending different directions to the vehicle. For example, we'll precondition the vehicle, we'll hit start on the screen, little blue bubble pops out, it'll send it to the car, it'll load a little bit saying that it's sent. And sometimes this is a downside of the MyChevy app, depending on where you're at. Sometimes it does take a little bit to send it from the phone up to the satellite, down to the vehicle. So it's still loading. And as you can see, the brake lights, or not the brake lights, the blinkers flash, and then you have the daytime running lights on to let you know that your vehicle is preconditioning. And as Tyler mentioned with the ID4, you can hear a little bit of clicking, and then you can actually hear as the fans speed up depending on if the AC is on or the heat. One thing I do want to mention, as I said earlier, the MyChevy app does not offer ways for you to set your temperature. So before you get out of the car, make sure you set the temperature that you want your car to remain at when you precondition it using the MyChevy app, because that's the only way I figured out for this to work. Another advice is keep the fan whatever speed you want it to, because it will remember that when you go to precondition it using the MyChevy app. Okay, so now that we're inside our Chevy Bolt, we're gonna talk about CarPlay. And now the MyChevy app offers a pretty robust user experience with Apple CarPlay. The downside with the Chevy Bolt that probably won't impact future General Motors electric vehicles is that the processing speed and data speed tend to be pretty slow with our touchscreen as well as like the MyChevy app. So just bear in mind the new vehicles like the Hummer EV, the Silverado EV, the Cadillac Lyriq should have better data processing, but we're gonna demonstrate pretty much here in our Chevy Bolt. So if you want, we'll turn to our touchscreen, and shout out, ChargeWay is now on Apple CarPlay, so make sure you go and download that and try that out. Highly recommend it. So as you can see, and I have bad vision, so that's why the font is big, so we'll click on the MyChevy app. And it will load. And the last time I used this, it wasn't exactly the best experience. It works relatively well, but I genuinely think it's because it's based on the current platform. I think hopefully future renditions of the MyChevy app will be better. But as you can see, like on this landing page, you have 76%, so that's how much range or state of charge our vehicle has, 107 miles. It will show you your vehicle. You can see different batteries if you're traveling home or when you're getting to work, so you can kind of plan what your state of charge would be there. You can actually do different service features. So, you know, we have our battery recall still open. You can select your plan so you can get more information there. And if you need assistance, you can also see what kind of assistance feature that comes with your current plan, which is really nice. But we're gonna go back to energy. We're gonna go nearby charging station so we can see. The closest one is actually right beneath our feet in this parking garage. This is brand new. So that's really nice. If you click on that, it will show you how much your state of charge is when you arrive, how far it is, and your duration, I believe, in how long it will take for you to get there. You can also see data on charging ports. And as I mentioned, all this is coming in from PlugShare. So as you might not know, PlugShare is crowdsourced information. So some of this information might be correct and it might not be correct, but I do know that these new AC chargers are brand new here, but there are domestic sockets in the parking garage. And then you can also pull up photos from PlugShare as well, which is nice to have that directly in your screen. And the last time I used this, it actually wasn't this nice, to be honest, looking at charging stations. So it's nice that Chevy has really improved this. I think they've done a really good job. Another thing that we want to show you guys with the MyChevy app, and I really think that this is kind of just bad UX, and honestly, I think some of the font or the directions could be improved. But say, for example, if we want to go to find a station, we'll actually go to search locations. I'll just go down, go to Columbus, Ohio. So from here, you know, you might be trying to route your trip down to Columbus, and the way that we figured out how to do that is where it says track my energy. And now this is where I think that some of the directions as well as the wording could be updated. Instead of track my energy, it might be route trip. It's a little clearer, honestly, instead of track my energy. So we'll hit that. It's calculating the route for you based on your current vehicle state of charge, which is really nice. And it's going to pull in charging data. So you can see that we will drive down to Mickey Mart, which we've been, those are 2 charge point stations. We'll get there with 21%. We'll be there for an hour and 24 minutes. We'll get about 86 miles. I said that totally wrong. Once again, kind of how you read these, it could be improved. We'll arrive at 21%. It'll take us about an hour and 24 minutes to get there, about 86 miles away, and we'll charge for about 49 minutes. And then we will get going at 47%, which I'd probably want to charge a little bit more with it being colder, and we will get to Columbus at 12%. Now, if we click the little icon, you can see that it's a charge point station. You can see exactly where it's at, the address, and how many is available, so that's nice. This location actually has 2 charge point stations, so you can tell when one's in use and which one's available, which is really nice as well. You can see the charge ports, what the rated kilowatt is, and then once again, you can pull in station photos too, so you can kind of get an idea of what's there. I'm not exactly sure what the replace station button does. I'm a little afraid to hit it, but we'll hit explore nearby, so you can see that there's also things for you to do. Around the charger, you know, there's food, there's shopping, and then there's hotels if you need to stay overnight. So overall, it is a nice route planner. It actually seems to pull in things pretty accurately. I'd be very curious to know what these percentages are based on your external temperature versus just simply your state of charge. I think that it would be good if they brought in data based on your speed as well as external temperature and how that impacts your battery. But overall, the route planning seems to be pretty accurate, and we'll have to test it out in a future video. I wanted to show you guys how you can essentially start a charge if you are near one. So we'll go to a charge point station, and then we can go to charging ports. We'll click on one of those, unless they changed it, which it looks like they did. But unlike the ID4, you can actually send charging stations to your map. So that's a really nice feature. If you're looking through MyChevy and you stumble upon a charger that you want to go to, you can just hit simply send to maps, and you can actually choose between Apple Maps or Google Maps. We'll hit Google Maps, and nothing happened. So good effort, but you can do it. So, I mean, that's nice that offers that. But the one thing that I think that the MyChevy app has over the ID4 is the fact that you can precondition your vehicle, you can lock, you can flash the lights, you can start the alarm using your phone. So if you're far away from your car and you need to make sure that the car is locked and secure, you can do that using that app. And then you can send the data directly to your vehicle, unlike the ID4. So that's a win-win. And not to mention the pricing and the features that the Chevy plans and GM plans offer is a win-win too. You just might have to deal with slow data speeds, so that's kind of a con. But overall, the MyChevy app is really good. Yep.
All right, so overall, we're pretty impressed with how these mobile apps work on both the Volkswagen ID4 and the Chevy Bolt. What's nice about the ID4 is the fact that you can change your battery settings, your state of charge, and you can also change the climate temperature in terms of, you know, the degrees, and you can also turn on the defrost. Other than that, you know, the rest of the app definitely needs improvement compared to what the MyChevy app offers.
And I definitely have to be honest with you, filming today's video, I was actually pleasantly surprised at the amount of updates GM has done to the MyChevy app. A few months ago when I tried to do Apple CarPlay and film a video with it, it just was freezing, it was not working. but the fact that they have improved it immensely really shows that General Motors is dedicated to improving their platforms. One thing that I absolutely love about the MyChevy app is that there are now charging networks that you can find using the MyChevy app, where a few months ago you only got things like EVgo, ChargePoint, and a few other networks. There are now a handful of networks that you can find on MyChevy. The one thing I really wish that this had is what the ID4 has, is where you can set the temperature, set the battery state of charge with charging, instead of having to remember what you set the internal temperature as well as the fan speed when you precondition it. There's been many times, especially in the summertime, when we want a cool car, we forget that we turned off the AC and it just simply is pushing air throughout the car. So it'd be nice if it had that feature, and hopefully future versions of the MyChevy app has that. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with both cars.
It's pretty nice, you know, for, you know, just basic everyday EVs, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, you know, as long as Volkswagen can include what MyChevy has for all the charging stations and putting that into the navigation, that would be awesome to have in this car.
Yeah. Well, you know, the good thing with software is that it's always changing.
It always is.
Well, anyways, everybody, if you like this video, make sure you like and share with your friends. And as always, please consider subscribing to Everyday EV. We are always excited to be producing educational electric vehicle content for you guys, and we really appreciate the support. Well, as always, take care, stay safe, and
make every day electrifying.
And we'll see you in the next one.